The Denver Nuggets are streaking. They've won 4 games in a row now without Nikola Jokic. Just a very impressive stretch of basketball and a lot of fun things that we get to talk about from this win against the Wizards tonight. Jamal Murray had 42. Peyton Watson's point streak continues. Aaron Gordon put up his best Nikola Jokic impression. And of course, Timmy!
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for tuning into tonight's episode, being an everydayer as we cover it, even on Broncos days, where the Broncos go to the AFC Championship day. Obviously, lots of energy in the city, in the building about the Broncos being very successful. That had to translate to the Nuggets' success. And oh boy, did it. It took a little bit, took a little energy, took a little stuff in order to get there. But the Nuggets were able to pull this game out with the heroics of one Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr. My name is Ryan Blackburn, host here at Locked On Nuggets. Also over at Mile High Sports and the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. Matt Moore is off tonight. He's got some friends over. Cam is off tonight. He has so many different places that he is going right now. So like I'm taking this on solo, and so you're gonna get me. You're gonna get a solo Ryan episode here, and we're gonna have a fun time. We're going to enjoy what is like a stretch of the Nuggets season that deserves to be enjoyed. And I hope that everybody continues to feel that way. Today's podcast is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. The Nuggets were a little slow out of the gate, as David Adelman said, despite the fact that they initially established the tone and did a pretty good job of getting out scoring wise. Like there were still like the energy in the building was not necessarily super high. Coincidentally, it was right at the same time that the entire fan base also got the notification that Bo Nix was going to be out for the season. So I give Nuggets fans a little bit of a pass for that. It was a very weird, emotional time for the fan base at this point that has dueling interests. Like obviously you would like to support the Nuggets versus the Wizards, but I get it. I totally understand. It was a big time situation for the Broncos today. But the Nuggets had to recoup, and they ultimately let go of the lead, I believe, in the second quarter. And it just felt like Denver's energy wasn't that good. They were up 36-29 after the first quarter, but they were down 34-26 in the second quarter, and like actually got a little bit worse. And then Washington pushed the lead a little bit further, and there were points where they were leading by as much as 8 points, 9 points or so. And there were some timeouts that David Adelman had to take just to reset the feeling, just to reset the tempo of what the Nuggets were providing on a consistent basis. Because for a while, it looked like the Wizards were just going to outscore the Nuggets. It looked like they were going to do that, and it just felt like Denver wasn't going to have enough energy to get it done. And then the fourth quarter happened, and oh boy, the shot making in the fourth quarter from the Nuggets was truly impressive. That's one of those games that I'm going to remember. And it's actually funny. Like David Adelman said, fortunately, you're not going to remember this game as the Nuggets because it's another win on the checkbox. But had they lost this one, they would have felt like they were going to remember it because they lost to the Wizards twice last year as well. But they recovered in important fashion on this particular one. And the heroes in this game were undoubtedly Jamal Murray and Peyton. Peyton Watson had a good game. I don't want to disparage that. He was just less of a factor from a scoring perspective in the second half, but in the fourth quarter. But it was really Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr. Jamal was unbelievable, folks. Like this is the best stretch of basketball that we've ever seen from him. He's having a fun time. He's enjoying himself. And I asked him after the game, just about that and about in like having fun with this stretch and like taking it as it is. And he was like, you can't really let your foot off the gas in this stretch because the Nuggets don't have that luxury with Jokic out. They always have to provide good effort. They always have to provide good energy. And they have to bring it every single night because the moment that they let it go is the moment that they get caught. And so it's one of the reasons why I kind of feared that this game would be like that. But credit to Jamal and credit to the Nuggets for continuing to bring that positive energy and bringing amazing shot making. Because frankly, that's what this is. Like the number of step backs and side steps and floaters and there's a turnaround that he had in the first half where he's just bullying a small child on the Washington Wizards, like these young guys. And Jamal's now in his 9th season, I believe. And so, or maybe it's his 10th. I can't remember. No, I think it's his 9th because they're not counting the missed one due to injury. But just it like he's a veteran in this league. He's learned a lot of the tricks of the trade. And so he understands how very much important this moment is for the Nuggets to get right. And he's seen Denver let off the gas at various points. He's been a part of it before. So credit to Jamal for leading by example and scoring 42 points on 15 of 24 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, a few more turnovers than you would expect, but he still had 6 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He was great in this game. And like, it just is like an unbelievable stretch for him. But more than that, like Swipe and I talked yesterday on the show in preparation for this game, but we talked a lot about Jamal Murray and how he has been able to break out. I think we both agree that he's at least a borderline top 10 player from this season. He's certainly having a top 10 season. And to be able to say that when he has been tied at the hip so much to Nikola Jokic, like for him to be able to be this good is truly impressive. So I'm giving him all the credit in the world, giving the Nuggets all the credit in the world as well. Another guy I want to mention, Aaron Gordon, played the Jokic role really well tonight. He wasn't scoring a ton. It was actually very interesting to see the shot distribution tonight. Heading into that fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure he had 3 shot attempts, somewhere around there, and he had to really kind of get it going in the fourth quarter, or certainly late third quarter, fourth quarter for sure. But he was really good in everything but like the scoring category. 11 assists tonight compared to 1 turnover. Gordon was a plus 14 in a game the Nuggets won by 6. Like, that's the kind of impact that you're looking for. That's the kind of impact on the game. And he also had 10 rebounds and multiple guys, David Adelman, Jamal Murray, all mentioned that his attention to detail on the defensive glass was a big deal because the Wizards grabbed 17 offensive rebounds. And like they won in a lot of these different battles as the younger team, the more athletic team, the taller team in a lot of these cases. And Gordon really took it upon himself. It wasn't a scoring night for him, although he did hit a very clutch 3 in the fourth quarter as well. But his ability to scale and do different things is really valuable. And so like the plus minus doesn't lie here. The impact on the game doesn't lie. 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 steal, 8 points only, but 3 very, very important ones in the fourth quarter for sure. And so there's just a lot to like. There's a lot to like about what he has been providing for the Nuggets since coming back. A little birdie told me that he is trying to play in the back-to-back tomorrow as well. Whether they do that or not remains to be seen. Whether that's something that happens remains to be seen. We'll talk about it when it does, if it does. But I'm a little bit worried about him from a health perspective, that with the Nuggets as like out as much as they are with some of these guys, Aaron's putting a lot back on his shoulders and Jamal's putting a lot back on his shoulders. So it'll be really interesting to see. J.K. Walrus actually says, and I miscounted his points because he had the finale oop. His legs looked good, got up for that finale oop. A really good delivery by Bruce Brown out of the short roll. So Denver closed with a lineup that they don't really expect, both Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway off the bench, along with Jamal Murray, Peyton Watson, and Aaron Gordon. So had a lot of great stuff, made a lot of great shots, important plays. And so just a very fun, very enjoyable atmosphere, one that the Nuggets keep winning in the clutch. It's remember the clutch struggles that we were talking about at the beginning of the season? Those are a way off at this point. The Nuggets have been winning clutch games left and right over the course of this stretch without Joker. Basically, every single win that they've had, 7 of their last 10, has come in the clutch. So credit to the Nuggets for stepping up, for staying focused, for delivering in those cases, and just making the right plays when they need to make them. Let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to discuss got to discuss Tim Hardaway Jr. We'll discuss Peyton Watson as well. We'll probably save that for the third segment for sure. But certainly we need to talk about Timmy, because that dude's been on fire for the Nuggets. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. During basketball season, there's nothing like being in the building. The energy, the crowd, that first run that gets everyone on their feet. Fans want you to be there for those moments, not stuck refreshing screens or guessing what tickets are going to really cost. That's where Gametime comes in. The Gametime app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets, fast, simple, and without guesswork. I mean, if you want to be, there were a couple of folks I know that were doing the double dipper tonight in terms of going to the Broncos game and then going to the Nuggets game after. And so you know that the best way to do that is with Gametime, where you can confidently see the view from your seat before buying tickets, which makes choosing those tickets easy and confident. Prices include the fees up front, so the total is clear from the start. Features like the zone deals help unlock great seats at an even better value. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back at it, Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, folks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for being an everydayer here. If you want to check out the Everydayer Club that we're doing for Locked On, I was hanging out in the Discord tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of discourse with the talk about the Bo Nix stuff and the Broncos stuff. Also talking about this game tonight. There's some comments here from Chris, from Nick, from Ziante's been in there. Lots of good names and lots of good interactions from folks. Always having a good time with the crowd. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, we've been playing around with the idea of coming up with a singular name for like trying to identify the very specific group of Nuggets fans that are like consider themselves everydayers. Do you want to be called Mile High Maniacs? What would you call yourselves if you are an everydayer for the Denver Nuggets? What would you consider? All right. Cedric's in here, Mr. Exquisite Nugget. Ryan, please answer. Do you think we'll get to retain P.Y.? Yes. There was actually a report that came out today from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, who basically said that the Nuggets are going to do what they can to retain Peyton Watson in the offseason. They've received trade calls for him, but have rebuffed those calls and want to try to take this to restricted free agency. And I think that that's perfectly reasonable. So it's kind of what I've been saying in terms of like, don't panic as a Nuggets fan. So we'll see what happens there. But no, I think Denver's going to retain Peyton. Snowwolf says Nuggaholics. Nuggaholics is not bad. I like that. We're going to confer our triumvirate over at here Locked On Nuggets here, and we're going to come up with something. So give us all the ideas that you can, folks. Really appreciate it. Okay, it's time. We have to talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. because that dude is unbelievable. It's really interesting because he's had to play a variety of different roles throughout his career. And I've talked about this with Matt and Swipa before, that like based off of his situation and based off of his contract number, based off of the type of player that teams are expecting him to be based off of what he's being paid and what he's doing versus what he actually does. He's the same player basically everywhere. He has variations of seasons. Like this year's obviously a really good year, and he's been fantastic for the Nuggets. But like the expectation for him was as a minimum contract player, was somebody who came in and we don't know what you're going to ultimately give. It's mostly going to be, all right, are you going to be a rotation guy every night? How's the shooting going to look? Can you help space the floor for the team? Can you provide some veteran leadership, things like that? And he's been more than that. Straight up, he's been more than that for the Nuggets. He has been, before this game where he scored 30 points, in the last 10 games, he's been averaging 16 a night and shooting, I think, 42% from three as well. He's still very high volume and not the most high efficiency player, but like he knows his role and understands what he's here to do for the Nuggets, and it helps make everything easier for everybody else. Tonight, he had 30 points in 36 minutes off the bench. As you guys know, I do the rotation chart for the Nuggets and just covering some of these things. And it's fascinating to look at. Like he played basically the entire third and fourth quarter. He played 20 straight minutes. He played 15 minutes in the first half and 20 minutes in the second half. He came in at the 8-minute mark or so of the third quarter and then played the rest of the way, because how could you take him off the floor? Like there's just no reason to do so. He has been unbelievable for the Nuggets and his ability. Like he's not going to hit every shot every time. But the most important factor was obviously that like you just need somebody that the opposing defense is going to react to. And every time Tim gets up shots, like previous to this game, he was averaging 8 attempts from three per game over the course of the last 10 games. And tonight he got up 11. He made 5. That's a really good percentage. But more than anything, it causes the Wizards and other defenses to react to him on a consistent basis and forces the paint open. It helps these driving lanes for guys like Jamal Murray, for guys like Peyton Watson, so that they can navigate in the middle of the floor. Aaron Gordon can do the same thing. These guys have an easier job because guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. are making it so easy for them. Now, would be a little bit different if he's shooting 3 of 11 on a consistent basis, if he's not like shooting that great. But he's been in a really great rhythm, a really great spot. And as a veteran, he understands what he's asked to do and has really stepped up. And he's clearly having a really good time. Like I noticed that earlier today. It just feels like he's really enjoying this experience. And I don't know if it was everything that he was expecting. I know he loves playing with Joker. I know he loves playing with Jamal and helping some of these other guys grow as well. But the most valuable thing that he continues to do is just be himself. And I was unsure whether that was going to be a good thing for this Nuggets team. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. kind of can be a gunner. It clearly has been a gunner, but like, the Nuggets haven't had a lot of gunners, but Jamal earlier tonight said kind of replaces, not replaces, but it's kind of like what Michael Porter does. It's kind of like when he sees the net, he can put the ball in the net. I thought that was very interesting. Just every time you give him an opportunity, he can get hot. He can do everything that the Nuggets need him to do. And that's just all you can ask for. So credit to Tim Hardaway Jr., man. The number of minutes that he has been playing over the course of these last several games has been extremely high. The Nuggets have had to rely on him. And I noted this on Pickaxe earlier today. His plus minus when he's out there is the highest on the team right now. Like it just is, because when he jumps on the floor, when he steps out there, opposing teams have to react, and it allows everything else for the Nuggets to kind of fall into place. His defense has not been that much of an issue. Now, it would be an issue more in a playoff situation, and as the Nuggets have to navigate that, then that'll be a conversation for another day. But in order to get through a regular season, you just need guys that are going to be consistent, that are going to provide it every single night. And that's exactly what Tim Hardaway Jr. is doing. So Tim absolutely deserves all the credit in the world for how he has handled this situation. So I've loved it. Now, he's not the only guy who's been good, but I think he has been the best. And we saw somebody in the comments made mention of six man of the year candidacy. I don't even know where his odds are currently at, but in terms of what the job is supposed to be as a sixth man, you're a change of pace. You're somebody who comes in off the bench and changes the game. In terms of his overall, actually, so Matt says here that drive dunk was a monster. He had the drive in the fourth quarter, which I could not believe that he had enough legs for, but he also caught an oop. He caught an alley in earlier in this game from Bruce Brown. It was Bruce actually threw two oops tonight. One to AG at the end and one to Tim Hardaway Jr. at the beginning. I could not believe it. You have fun with this team, man. They have surprised in so many ways without Joker. And they've had to change their way that they're playing, but the effort that they are playing with and the focus that they are playing with right now is really impressive. They've had to. And the schedule's about to get tougher. So if you're playing this way against a whole bunch of Western Conference playoff teams, it's probably not going to go as well. But you have to play who's in front of you. And right now the Nuggets, especially led by Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr., have been fantastic in terms of how they have approached it. So credit to them. Okay, let's take another break. When we come back, we are going to discuss Peyton Watson's streak, as you can see on the rundown, and then we'll give a quick preview for tomorrow's game against the Charlotte Hornets. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. All righty. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. Not for NBA Happy Hour, but I actually hit a pretty impressive bet tonight. Anthony Edwards for 50. There was an offering that FanDuel had in there as the 50-point challenge. And so I'm going to probably get some bonus bets, but I also got a pretty solid payout for that. Pretty good stuff for your boy. Everybody clap in the comment section below. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern have become appointment viewing for NBA Happy Hour. Make sure to open up the FanDuel app during that time because NBA Happy Hour can bring something new like boosts, bonuses, and surprises. The timing is perfect right before the games and right before the weekend starts. So before tip-off, check out that FanDuel app and see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. All right, final segment, Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple, iTunes, or Spotify, 5-star reviews would be fantastic as we've had a lot of fun. And I do genuinely believe this. I think our shows for Locked On have been unbelievable over the course of these last few weeks, especially. Matt Swipa and I mostly speaking for them, but I feel like obviously I add to the dynamic too. We've had a lot of fun. The 3-man shows have been great. I hope you guys are enjoying them. And when it's just solo like me, you guys can suffer through that for sure. You guys can suffer, but no, we've been having a lot of fun. So if you have enjoyed, 5-star reviews go a long way. All right, let's talk about Peyton Watson, who before tonight had been scoring a whole bunch of points. As everybody knows, he's been having a massive breakout over the course of his previous 9 games. He had scored, as I pull up the game log here, 24, 21, 23, 24, 30, 25, 19, 31, 18 last game, and 21 tonight. Some of the shots that Peyton Watson, and so by the way, that is a very, very impressive stat for any player. To score 18 plus points in 10 straight games is really impressive. And I've just been very impressed with his delivery, and being in the building tonight was really interesting to watch him score because the way he was navigating to the paint, it was unbelievable to see some of the shots he was hitting, man. Like I could not believe it. I could not believe it. He shot 8 of 14 from the field tonight, 1 of 2 from 3, missed 4 free throws. We'll give him a pass for that, but he's got to be better there. Had 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. The rebounding was a little bit slow early, but he made it a point of emphasis later in the game. Then had a steal and a block, was in foul trouble for sure. So that probably affected the mentality a little bit. But no, like, I mean, some of these shots that he's hitting off the dribble are nuts. It's wonderful to watch. There was one that he had an up and under on where it was, I mean, he made it look easy, made it look simple, but it was Alex Sarr coming over from the weak side, and he catches the ball on one side of the floor and lays it up and under style on the other side. But it was kind of a wild move, and he just had enough touch to be able to get the ball to drop. He had this running, like, hook shot bank like that somehow got to go. And like, I don't even remember how to describe it. It was like a floater bank shot, like, but it was a running hook shot from the angle that he got to. He's had some followaways. He's had some, like, the floater that he had off of the Euro step earlier in the game was nice. Like, there's just so many different ways that he's getting to the rim, and the angles in which he is putting the ball in the basket is really freaking impressive. I've been blown away by the ways in which he is scoring right now. Now, the pessimist in me, or the analytical mind, says that those shots are bad and you'll probably regress in terms of the efficiency at some point. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, but it does to me feel like we're seeing a real-time skill development from Peyton Watson. And that's the most important thing that Nuggets fans could possibly think right now, is that he's giving the Nuggets so much more in terms of talent, in terms of skill set, in terms of versatility to be able to attack in so many different ways. He is not a one-trick pony in terms of how he handles stuff. He can go by you left, right, center. Like, he'll do whatever he needs to get to the basket. And then if you cut that off, then he's very comfortable settling for a mid-range jumper, and he's been handling it really well. So I give him a lot of credit. The Nuggets didn't go to him in the fourth quarter at all. I thought that was interesting. They decided, hey, we're going to put the ball in Jamal Murray's hands, and Jamal Murray had 42. So, duh. But they also put the ball in Aaron Gordon's hands. They ran some down screen action and some sort of orbit action for Tim Hardaway Jr. around the perimeter just to see if he could get going. And so Peyton Watson kind of faded into the background a little bit. He was more focused on defending at that point. Did some good things defensively, did some bad things defensively. I thought it was pretty wild at various points and not necessarily super disciplined. But, I mean, comes with the territory when you're, like, as tired as everybody is and just trying to get through January. And so I understand it. But the way that he's scoring deserves a ton of praise. And so I hope Nuggets fans are very quickly giving it to him in terms of the praise. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And where would the Nuggets be if they didn't have Peyton Watson doing what he's doing right now, just to give everybody else an opportunity where they don't have to create? Like, think about what Jamal Murray's doing right now, what he was able to do, 15 of 24 with 8 free throws. If he also had to create in the possessions where Peyton Watson was going, like, that'll be a lot of burden. It'd be a lot. Like, you would absolutely guarantee that Jamal doesn't play tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this situation going forward. I've already gone over it and will continue to go over it significant times. But Peyton Watson's going to get paid in the offseason. It looks like the Nuggets are going to try to be the team that does it. And whether they can or not remains to be seen, but it's going to be fascinating to track nonetheless. Final thing we'll cover. Are there any other points from tonight that really makes sense? The Wizards gifted this game in a lot of ways to Denver. They missed 13 free throws. They had some important bad turnovers down the stretch. Alex Sarr missed a couple of bunnies. Keyshawn George made some plays and fouled Jamal Murray in a situation where he obviously shouldn't have fouled him. So Trey Johnson, who's been Steph Curry from three at various points, went 1 of 10 from the field and 0 of 4 from three. So like there was some regression. And the Wizards, of course, on the second night of a back-to-back. The Hornets will be coming in on the second night of a back-to-back after playing the Warriors tonight. They gave up 136 points to the Warriors in this past game. That's a lot. That's a lot of points, not going to lie. LaMelo Ball came off the bench for some reason. I don't know the story behind it, whether this was a disciplinary action or a health thing. I have no idea, but LaMelo went 5 of 17 from the field and 1 of 8 from three against the Warriors. So clearly something weird is happening, and will be very interesting. Actually, you know what it probably is? I'm going to go ahead and predict without seeing anything. He was probably late to a team meeting. He was probably late because they were they dominated the Lakers on Thursday, I want to say. But so it'll be interesting to see how that sort of translates. But Hornets have been dangerous. There's a stat going around there that when the Hornets win a game, when they win it, it doesn't like it's not all the time, but in the 15 wins that they currently have, they're 15 and 27. They have the highest net rating in terms of the wins that they have. When they win, they blow teams out because their offense can get real hot. LaMelo is obviously a cook for that. Concanipple's been unbelievable. He's been so consistent. He went 9 of 14 tonight for the Hornets and 4 of 5 from three. 24 points, 11 rebounds. That dude is going to be a tough cover. And Brandon Miller went for 28. So like there's plenty of talent on the Hornets. Can the Nuggets keep up with it on the second night of back-to-back? Are they going to be able to do it? We will see what happens. But for now, I think that's going to do it, folks, for this episode of Locked On Nuggets. Let me know down in the comments again what name the Everydayer Club should be for the specific Nuggets fans. And for our everydayers here, that you would like to be called. Is it Mile High Maniacs? Is it Nuggaholics? Is it something like that? Let us know down in the comments below. But yeah, that is going to do it for this episode. Just a solo Ryan episode. It will probably be me solo tomorrow as well, depending on the situation for the other guys. But I would expect it to just be a solo show. But we will see how it goes. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in on this Saturday night. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.